Something very remarkable happened this week, something that I'm still a little bit shocked about, because Ron DeSantis, the authoritarian governor of Florida, the failing Republican presidential candidate, actually said something smart. He said something that was true. He said something accurate, and it blows my mind that Ron DeSantis is actually capable of telling the truth. Here's what happened. During a CNN town hall event on Tuesday evening, after DeSantis and, of course, Nikki Haley got their butts handed to them by Donald Trump in Iowa, Ron DeSantis told the crowd at that CNN town hall that if the 2024 election becomes about Donald Trump's legal problems, Republicans are going to lose. Here's what Ron DeSantis said. If Donald Trump is the nominee, the election will revolve around all these legal issues, his trials, perhaps convictions if he goes to trial and loses there, and about things like January 6th. We're going to lose if that's the decision voters are making based on that. We don't want it to be a referendum on those issues. Well, I mean, Trump's still crushing you in the Republican primary. Let's not overlook that. But DeSantis is right. If voters are voting based on Donald Trump's legal problems, you got a majority, 56% of the country, according to the latest poll, supports the indictments against him. You know those horrible New York Times polls that, by the way, have not been replicated by anybody? Just saying. But even those horrible polls show that Donald Trump's winning in all the swing states unless he gets a single felony conviction, and then suddenly Biden wins every one of those swing states. So DeSantis is right. If voters see that Trump gets convicted, Biden wins in a landslide. And I don't just mean Biden, wins. He wins in a landslide victory, the likes of which we have not seen in modern times. So DeSantis, again, is right. I'm just as shocked as you to hear those words coming out of my own mouth. But voters have made it clear. Even Republicans, hell, you've got a little under 1/3 of the MAGA Republicans who say that they're probably not going to vote for Trump in the general if he has a conviction. He can't win with a conviction. Now, what he does have working in his favor in terms of convictions, the problems seem to be mounting for Fani Willis in Georgia. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Things are looking bad. I mean, didn't want to think this was going to take her down, but it's actually starting to look like it might, and that could kill that Georgia case, or at least postpone it to the point where it doesn't happen this year before the election. So we might not get those convictions, and that, to me, was probably the strongest case against him. If the Supreme Court gives him immunity, there goes pretty much everything else, too. Except, of course, the New York charges. But the New York charges against him, the felony charges against him, are the weakest. They're very hard for people to understand on the surface of it versus, hey, he stole documents. Hey, he incited a riot and tried to steal the election. Those are pretty easy to understand. What's happening in New York is a lot more nuanced. It's a lot more complex. And I don't think a conviction there would actually sway any voters. So right now, it's shifting in Trump's direction, that there may not be a conviction. But if it turns out that all this stuff about Fani Willis is just total bupkis, he's screwed there, especially after these right-wing attacks on her. She will emerge stronger than ever, again, if it's all false, and they will get a conviction. If the Supreme Court doesn't give him immunity, he will get a conviction with the January 6th trial. If Judge Cannon decides to stop playing favorites, he would easily be convicted there too. I do think the odds are still overwhelming at this moment that Trump gets a conviction. And as Ron DeSantis says, he gets a conviction and it's over for the Republicans. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.